You stay there. I am taking a risk and filming this here, and by here I mean that my camera is on a tripod on my bed, which isn't really the risky part because it's pretty sturdy. The risky part is that my cat is laying down right there, and if she gets up and jumps off the bed, this will tilt. Okay. Hey guys, Patty here. So today I'm going to be doing the reading habits tag. I was tagged by the lovely Divya. I will leave her link down below. She tagged me a long time ago, and I'm finally getting around to doing this tag. So let's start. Number 1, and I'll be looking down because my phone, the list is here. And maybe I'll just hold it so that much make things a little easier. See, it moved, she moved, it moved. Okay. Number 1, do you have a certain place at home for reading? No, not really, although I do tend to read in my room, whether I'm curled up on my bed or sitting on my stool. That kind of normally is where I read, but I tend to read anywhere, really. 2, bookmark or a random piece of paper. Both. I do have bookmarks. I have a couple actually, and I just don't know where they are, but I do tend to use a random piece of paper, and by random I mean it's a receipt from Chapters, or there's a time where Chapters just put like those kind of plain blank basic Chapters bookmarks in your book whenever you purchase stuff, so I'd use those, or sometimes I use ticket stubs, like if I went to a game or a concert, I'll just use that as a bookmark. 3, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a certain chapter or amount of pages? I could just stop reading if I really wanted to or needed to, but I really like to finish at least to the end of the page, or at least at the end of a paragraph, because I hate trying to figure out when I go back to a page and try to think, was I at this paragraph, like it was in the middle somewhere, so I really prefer to end at like a chapter or at the end of a paragraph, just not in the middle of it. 4, do you eat or drink while reading? Yes, I will drink while reading. I am thirsty. I will not deprive myself of water or a beverage. And eating while reading, most times I'm like nibbling on chips or something, and it's not like I get it on the book because I'll hold the book up and eat, so I'm not like this where the crumbs will drop down on it. So I haven't gotten food on any of my books, and I tend to eat a lot while reading. So 5, multitasking, movie or TV. I have had like the TV going in the background while reading, and it does not distract me, especially since it tends to be like Criminal Minds or something, and it's in the background and I can just read and it doesn't distract me. But I don't want to say always, but it's pretty much always read with music. It could be any type of music, but I do tend to listen to a lot of mellow music, so yeah, I listen to music while reading. It doesn't bother me. 6, one book at a time or multiple? There was a time where I would read just one book at a time, but I seem to be reading several books at a time lately, and it normally happens like this. I start reading one book, and then either the plot kind of flops, in my opinion, or it gets just really dry, and then so I'll pick up another one to kind of just like go back and forth between the two, or I start reading a book, I go to the bookstore and I buy new books, and then I start reading one of the other books that I just bought without finishing the other one, and I go back and forth, and then I buy another book, or I receive an ARC on NetGalley, and it just kind of goes like that in that cycle. But I'm really hoping to change it where I can go back to limiting myself on how many books I read at a time. 7, reading at home or everywhere? Everywhere. I will read in Starbucks, I will read on the train, on the subway, in the car. I do not get nauseous while in the car I'm reading. I will read outside, I will read while walking. It is dangerous, but I have done it. I will read anywhere. 8, reading out loud or silently in your head? Silently in my head. I personally do not like the sound of my own voice. And I tend to do this weird thing sometimes where I will try to put myself in character, imagine this character. So if the character talks with an accent, I might in my head talk with an accent, so I think it'd be really weird if I was still doing that out loud. And since I do read anywhere, I think it'd be really weird if I was in Starbucks and reading and I'm just also reading it out loud. It just, no. 9. Do you read ahead or skip pages? No. And I mean, I have read a book and then really been dying to know what's going to happen next, or like I'm at a part and I'm just like, oh my gosh, if this happens I'm just going to stop reading. But I will not flip ahead and spoil it for myself. I just can't do it. I can't. 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new? Oh. Another one. Both. I seem to not be able to give a straight answer. Both. I would prefer to have my spines looking brand new, but I do like the look of being able to see the lines on the spine, because then it just kind of goes to show on, I think it kind of just basically reflects on how much you enjoyed the book and how many times you read it. For example, I have the Mediator series by Make Habit, and as you can see, which I think you can, I'm not sure, I think this is on autofocus, which is really bad if it is, because I don't know if this will focus, but like the first 3 books I didn't read that often, I guess you could say, judging by the lines. Like, I loved the series, so I guess didn't read them that often. But if you look at book 4 and 5, yeah, I really would like to buy a new one for 5, because this is just kind of like, this is also from being in my bag, so yeah. But like, look all at these lines, like I kind of like that because it just goes to show some like how much I really enjoyed the book. But then I do have my books where they look brand new, so it's kind of like a mix between the two. And stop rotating. 10. Do you write in your books? It really depends on the books. No. Because I like to show instead of just saying things, most times I will just stick these are my best friends. So like, as you can see, The Alchemist, I have this like sticky to the max. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, I do not have this sticky as much, but like, oh, that's folded. It's not supposed to be like that. Oh, forgive me. Okay, moving on. And then I have this book, which is The Best Poems of the English Language by Harold Bloom, and I have it stickied, but I did write in this one. Like I think this is from William Shakespeare, and this is one of his poems. I think The Phoenix and the Turtle. Yeah, The Phoenix and the Turtle. So like, as you can see, I have it highlighted, annotated, and I've made some notes in it. And this was not a book for a course. This was just one that I picked up as just a book that I really wanted to read. So I guess it really depends. Like, I don't really highlight in textbooks because most times I just make notes from the textbooks on my computer. So I can't really say just for textbooks, but it just really depends on the book. If it's a book that I find it'd be relevant to write into to kind of make notes to myself, then yes. But most times I do not like to write in my books because I find it kind of mean to do, harmful, but whatever. That's just me. But yeah. I'm going to tag certain people in this, but if you come across this video and you have not done this tag, feel free to do this tag. And let me know down below and I will go and watch the video. And if I've tagged you and you've already done this, I'm really sorry. This is kind of like an older one, so I feel like a lot of people have already done this tag. But yeah. So I am tagging Elizabeth and her channel is That Finished Kid, because there seems to be a lot of Elizabeth that I subscribe to, so I have to say that part. Nancy, Scott, Ashley from the Books Fanatics, Elizabeth aka Lisa, Lena Donna, and Tara, Very Bookly. I believe that's her channel name. So I will leave the links below for who I'm tagging, and I will leave the link to who originally did this video. I do not know, I did not catch that. And then I will leave the link to Divya's channel. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment below on what are some of your reading habits, and like I said, if you haven't done this tag video, feel free to do it. You are tagged.